Hello, welcome to a new episode. This week we're going to make a marionette that's going to be used in a music video of a new Flemish band. Let me show you my prototype. So, I made this little guy a few weeks ago using some cardboard and rolls of tape, just as a prototype to test out some of the things I was making. The idea is that this little guy is a battery. The whole thing started off with a sketch that I'll show you. So this is tiny Wattson. I basically went to school on this guy. I learned all the things I shouldn't do because the head should be attached with only one wire and not with two. And I made the arms too short to really be usable. And the rope shouldn't be attached to the feet, they should be attached to the knees. So this guy was my schooling, but he turned out pretty cute nonetheless. And then this prototype became the basis for the actual doll, and I'll show him to you in a sec. Okay. Voila, here he is. His name is Wattson and he's a marionette that's supposed to be a battery. So the top is an AA battery and the body was supposed to be a 9-volt battery, but along the lines he evolved more to be some sort of Wall-E robot type. So this is used in a music video that will come out very soon, and I'm going to show you how I made this lovely dude. Enjoy! I started off making the main body of the puppet out of a piece of pine. I realized the edges were a little bit too sharp, so I gave all the corners a 45-degree angle and attached it using wood glue and tiny nails. And after sanding away all the sharp parts, what you're left with essentially is a wooden tunnel. And the head of the puppet is made up out of 3 pieces of drainpipe that were all attached using out-of-focus PVC glue. I simply dabbed on some glue on the different edges and put the pieces together. The arms and legs were made up out of a shower hose. I used a small metal saw out of my son's toolkit to cut these, since I have no clue where I put my metal saw. No idea. Inside of the shower hose there's this plastic tubing, which is very perfect because then I can actually tie off all the different ends inside the puppet and on the hands and feet. The hands were made up out of another small piece of drain pipe, and these holes were drilled so that the arms could attach to the hands. The reason I did this because in the music video he has to hold on to the steering wheel of a car. His feet are made up of 2 plugs that you put on a whiskey carafe. I used the actual carafes to make a light in my house, and the tops I saved for later. I roughed up these glass knobs with some sandpaper and then gave him a quick coat of spray paint to make them gold. order for the legs to bend, I cut through the outer part of the shower drain and left the inside plastic tubing intact, so that I can attach a string to that and you can get an articulating knee joint. For the neck, I used a leftover piece of the drain pipe and squished it between a few pieces of plastic. All of this was also going to get a layer of golden spray paint to match up with the rest of the puppet body. I used some super glue and clamps to hold this down while everything dried. To attach his legs on the inside of his body, I simply screwed it to two pieces of wood that were then glued on the inside of the main body. Feetsies! The idea was to give this puppet some different facial expressions. So I used Velcro eyes and mouth to be able to swap it out when we needed to. I cut the eyes and mouth and heart symbol out of this thick paper that you use to frame pictures with. And I didn't like the way the gray tube contrasted with the black eyes, so I used some yellow tape to give it a better contrast look. I ran into some camera issues, so here are a few pictures of my progress while my camera was messing up. I glued on all the spray painted little parts to make his body feel more robot-like. And then I added some aluminium tape to his body because it's instant robot, really. I super glued on tiny pieces of Velcro to the head, and the same pieces of Velcro went on the backside of the eyes and the mouth. And voila, Wattson's head. And then the decision was made to give him pants and some suspenders because we thought it would be a lot cuter if he was wearing people clothes in the video. This was cut out of one of my wife's old shirts and attached using staples, because I completely don't know how to sew yet. And there you have Wattson in his final build stage before I was able to put on all the strings. The last touch was his heart symbol. The idea was that we could convey his mood by giving him a full heart or an empty heart throughout the music video. The controller is simply made up out of a dowel rod shaped into a cross with some eye hooks attached to it. So yeah, I'm really happy with how he turned out. Like, he looks very cute and he performed very well during the video shoot. So I'll show that to you next week. So until then, bye.